Happy Virgo moon. Blessings. Happy Virgo moon. So, we inside, we are comfy. We inside, we are comfy. You hear me? Listen. Listen. Okay, so get out a pen and pad because I am going to start off doing the moon sign, what a Virgo moon means for you, but I'm going to do it for your rising sign. And I'm going to start with Virgo risings. I'm going to go through all of the 12 signs. I'm going to start with Virgo risings. What does a Virgo moon mean for you? Okay, so sit back, chill. It's a Virgo moon, so get grounded. And let's get into it. Okay, so and of course this is like on a whole sign chart. All right, so for Virgo rising, and I'm gonna do, to make this brief. Can y'all hear me? 1 second. To make this brief, I'm going to say one thing for each rising sign. One thing that you can focus on to make this a good experience for you. Okay. Can y'all hear me? Am I low? Sound check. Sound check. Am I low? Sound good? I want to make sure before I start. If my sound is going in and out, let me know. Okay. Sound is good? Good. Okay, perfect. Okay. So, for Virgo moons. Okay. For Virgo moons, I'm sorry. For Virgo risings, what this Virgo moon means for you is that you have the moon I would say right now, and I'm looking at of course, from like a Los Angeles whole sign chart, but you have the moon in your first house, and right now is a good time for you to focus on your triggers. For Virgo risings, right now is a good time for you to focus on your triggers. All right, so for Virgo risings, during this Virgo moon, it's a good time for you to focus on your triggers. Moving on to Leo risings. For Leo risings, it's a good time for you to focus on your values. Are you really practicing integrity, or are you using integrity like a fad? Leo risings. This is what this Virgo moon means for you. For Cancer risings, this is a good time for you to focus on your communications, your communication skills. For Cancer risings, this Virgo moon is a good time for you to focus on your communication skills. Okay. And since it is a Virgo moon, research. Right? Shout out to my Virgo moons. Okay. The research is for everybody. The research is not just for Cancer risings. That's for everybody. Okay. And for Gemini risings, right now is a good time for you to focus on the connection to your mother, if possible, and the connection to your family. Maybe Look into your family history. For my Gemini risings, look into your family history. For Taurus risings, it's a good time for you to focus on your creativity. For Taurus risings, it's a good time for you to focus on your creativity. Are you stagnant or do you have a flow going on? For my Aries risings, it's a good time for you to focus on your health. Leo, Aries risings, focus on your health. Consult an herbalist. For my Pisces risings, it's a good time for you to focus on your interpersonal skills. Pisces risings, focus on your interpersonal skills. For my Aquarius risings, it's a good time for you to focus on actually for my Aquarius risings right now, since the moon is from the LA view in your 8th house, this is a good time for y'all might be going through for the next 2 days, like a bit of a low moment. This might be a good time for you to focus on a rebirth for my Aquarius risings. For my Capricorn risings, focus on your connection to the higher source for my Capricorn risings. All right, three more, and then we're going to get into today's topics. For my Sagittarius risings, this is a good time for you to focus on your legacy because you can't take it with you, so what are you leaving behind? For my Scorpio risings, it's a good time for you to focus on your connection to your tribe, connection to the groups, connection to the group, your connection to other people, groups of people. Finally, for my Libra risings, it's a good time for you to focus on your connection to your subconscious mind. Okay. All right. So that's all of the 12 rising signs and what you should be focusing on. All right. Before we get started for today, Ashe. 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 So we just had 2 transitions, y'all. We had the moon move over into Virgo, and we had Mercury move over into Pisces. So it's a good time to keep your eyes on the ocean. Your robe looks so comfy. Oh my God, it is. I got it like extra, extra large too, so I can just like swim in it. And when I get a missus, she can swim in it. Okay, so I want to talk about 3 things today. Okay, so the first thing is get this book. Heaven and Earth by Gabrielle Henriette. She snapped in this book. This is like my 3rd time reading it, and it's like one of those books that you carry around because you're always going to find something new, right? I know y'all have one of those books. Like, I was supposed to be so focused doing some other stuff today, but I just could not put this book down. Look at this. I got a freaking, I don't know what that is. Everything, like, yeah. Let let me just read you a statement from this book. All right, just a little sentence. The formation of comets seems to be due to the influence of the satellite disk of the Earth as they pass at certain points of the vault of the sky. Otherwise, when they occupy certain or Suian degrees of the zodiac, particularly the 29th degree of Sagittarius. Yo, yo, bro, get the book. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is a message I have from a dream. Now listen. I don't know where y'all be going when y'all be dreaming, but do y'all feel like, first, let me just say this before I get to this topic. Because what I'm about to say, this topic is a message that I pulled back from the astral realm. Okay. And it's been hard. It's hard to pull back dreams from the astral realm when you're using cannabis. When you're not using cannabis, it's like, whoa, it's like really intense. Every night is lucidity, you know? But I'm going to bring this message in. But first, do y'all feel like y'all are having the same dreams that you all had as when you were children? Because I feel like the astral realm, the operating system that runs the astral realm, got to upgrade. Like HD, like straight up, like HD, like virtual reality, like, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not like, these dreams are not the same, you know? Like the interactions, the angles, like, first of all, the angles, like, where's the camera, bro? Like, anyway, bro, it's, so in a way you can say like dreams are interdimensional, like you are remote viewing but interdimensionally, right? There's a scene from Marvel, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse, where they say something that I believe is rooted in truth and that you can find with ancient text. They say, you know, when you have a dream, then you are experiencing something that's happening in another dimension. Ivana said, the dream I had the other day, the guy said, oh, you're back. What? I had a dream my ex was on fire. Wow. I can touch, taste, feel, hear, waking up with residual sensations. Ooh, it's intense. Wow. Here's a dream hack. If you want to hack your dreams, an hour before you go to sleep, you can use video if you're a visual person, or you can use books. Intently focus on something for an hour, even a half an hour, depending on what, you know, how your imagination is, before you go to sleep. And the thing that you are focusing on before you go to sleep will end up in your dream. And with doing this, use mugwort. Mugwort will help you to have more lucid dreams. Use mugwort. Yeah, I just brought that up though because, like, I mean, not saying it's a bad thing. I'm actually really enjoying it. These dreams are just like more, you know, we spend a third of our life there. You know, if you are 30 years old, then you would have spent like 9 years in the astral realm. That's a large part of your life, you know. So it's a third of your life. Okay, but yeah. First thing I want to talk about is I had a dream that the sun was a crystal. And then like like a crystal ball. And then of course, upon rising, I did what I always do. I turned to the ancients because I believe that dreams, the ideas that come in dreams are like there's like an idea propagation, just like we have like light propagation happen up above us, and in connection actually to the light propagation, I believe that this dream was what I don't know what I picked from this dream, and then when I only saw like one person, you know, during my research who wrote like a book about this, and I looked to the ancients, and the ancients, of course, said that the and the sky was an iron bowl, and that the just like this book says, um, just like this book says, like they believe that like the comets came from the iron bowl, just like this book says, like the comets are fragments of the firmament. And you know what? It's believed that parts that come off these, you know, quote unquote meteorites are cobalt, and cobalt is the mineral that is being mined in Africa right now. That has like the child laborers. So it kind of makes you wonder, like, where's all that cobalt coming from? And then you have to do your research on the dark rift, you know, pieces of the firmament. Super unrelated side note. I saw that scientists are now saying, but you know, I don't really take their word for much. But I saw this, you know, scientists are now saying that there is a universe where you can rewind time. Hmm. Rewind time. Like TiVo. So you would have to imagine that that's plausible. How? Okay. So think about it this way. You have our physical shells that is pretty much the that's held together by vibrations. Okay. And if you really want to break this down on a very detailed level on what vibrations are holding our bodies together, um, we have these fixed, you can call them remote controls on the firmament. Um, Mars, Jupiter, you know, and they lend us these energetic frequencies, radio frequencies, okay, that compose our body. So, in another way you can say that is that these fixed points up above us are composed of like iron, phosphate, calcium, magnesium. And so when you look at what's the effect of iron on the body, or if you're iron deficient, what's the effect of magnesium on the body, or if you're magnesium deficient. So you just go through all the minerals and you say, okay, Jupiter is an abundance of magnesium. Mars is an abundance of iron, which gives it its red color. Okay, So what happens when your body is in, if you take into account the rotation, what happens when your body is at a certain distance from that iron source that your body is composed of? What effect does that have on your body? Anger, anyway. So your body is held together by like a vibration, and so we have our bodies in between two shields of energy. And these shields of energy, they discharge like electricity. How can you see that? You can see that with your eyes every day. So when volcanoes erupt, you can see lightning coming from the volcanoes. When you have lightning from above, you can see lightning coming from above. So you have the same material that's conducting the lightning from the bottom and from the top. Okay? So you have to ask yourself, what can do that? Okay? So, but I want to get really quick to the iron bowl. Okay? So when you hear thunder, right? Now, if you were to conduct an experiment, if you were to go into your garage and you clap your hands as loud as you can 3 times with the garage door open, and then you clap your hands at the same intensity with the garage door closed, which do you think is going to be louder, with the garage door open or closed? Of course, closed. All right. So that's evidence of a closed system. When you hear thunder, it echoes. Subwoofers, sound, waves, longitudinal waves. What happens on the firmament above? Sound propagation, light propagation. What's the evidence of sound propagation? Thunder. Boom, 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 boom. Thunder. Thunder wouldn't be able to do that in an open system. In a closed system that's like metallic in nature, that gives you the sound of thunder. Hello? Right. Okay. So I want to get back to the. Wait, let me ride that wave for a second with the closed system. So when you look at lightning, right, and you look at the pattern of lightning, it's always the same from above and from below. It's a certain pattern that shows you a certain type of grid. Okay, so these points up above, these luminary discs, are all connected to a grid. So when you often hear like the grid's going to go down, it's 2 grids that can be in the play here, because we're connected to where we get our downloads, our thoughts, telepathy, our connection to like to be able to have dreams. All of that is from the grid above. As above, so below. So the grid above is connected to, that's what the discharge, the electric discharge that we call lightning, that's what that's connected to. The sprites, that's what that's connected to. The rainbows that you see, that's what that's connected to. And the rainbows are just like a play of the electromagnetic spectrum. The colors, just like the electromagnetic spectrum, are the same colors of your chakras. It's the same thing. Like when you go to like AutoZone, you see oil on the ground. What color is the oil reflection? The electromagnetic spectrum, right? Okay. So how are we able to see the electromagnetic spectrum? How are we able to see rainbows? Because of the grid above. Okay. So when you, this is this is exactly how astrology works, because your location is your destiny. Because you have, for example, you can have a million people being born in Pluto and Scorpio, but since I was born in Detroit, I got Pluto and Scorpio in my first house, and since you were born in Oklahoma, you got Pluto and Scorpio in like your fourth house. Location is destiny. So therefore, we, um, and the reason why is because we were born on two different spots on the grid, two different nodal points on the grid. Speaking of the grid, Speaking of the grid, okay, I got three things I wanted to talk about, but what I want to say now is unrelated, but I think it's important. Ley lines. Hey, let me pin that comment. So on NASA.com, let me see if I can find this article really fast. Yo, NASA be trolling. They're like the biggest trollers. They troll more than Elon Musk. Um, NASA Xbox. Okay, no. Okay. So NASA. Okay, so yeah, NASA calls them X points. Portals in our backyard. Portals in our backyard. And then I saw a show on HBO with Lakeith Stanfield called, was it called Portals? It wasn't called Portals, but the premise of the show, spoiler alert, was about portals. What? I didn't spoil too much. I actually did pretty good that time. Okay, so how are portals possible? They're calling these things X points. Okay, here's my theory. All right, so they're talking about these things like they're brand new. All right, and the occurrence of these X points, I believe, has a correlation with the appearance of 5G towers. Okay, so what is the function of 5G towers? What do they market 5G towers as? Actually, let me put my battery on low power mode so I can stay here for longer. Okay, so 5G towers pretty much are used for cell phones. What do people pretty much use cell phones for these days? Social media and the internet. Okay. Okay. So what's the birthplace of the internet? CERN. All right. Okay. So the internet that we use every day is connected to CERN. Your phones, therefore, social media, therefore, communication itself, therefore, is connected to CERN. Okay. What else is connected to CERN? Quantum computing, artificial intelligence. Okay. Large Hadron Collider. Side note, where are other Large Hadron Colliders that are connected to CERN? One's in Chicago. Hello? That's a rabbit hole. And then look at what's happening in Chicago and why it's intentional. And they don't want you to go there. Okay. So, these X points. So, if our internet is connected to CERN, and then CERN is connected to the 5G towers, and now they want the next phase of the internet to be on your body, Neuralink, right? What's the first thing they said on after the person came to after Neuralink? Oh, he's able to control the internet with his mind. Okay, so the next phase of the internet is on your body. Therefore, your body is going to be connected to where? CERN. Okay, stick with that. Stick with that premise. Okay, so for this little movie we're shooting, all right. Um, so CERN. They said since last time they started the Large Hadron Collider, it's still on as we speak today. Therefore, the Large Hadron Collider in Chicago, the one I believe is in Kentucky or Tennessee, all of those are still on right now as we speak, creating what? Portals. How are they creating portals? Because the 5G towers that's connected to CERN are sending out frequencies that are creating energetic what? Hotspots. And now what can you do on your phone? Create a what? Hotspot. So you can use the internet. So the hotspots that are coming from CERN is the result of these these subatomic particles that are smashing right now as we speak, creating these doorways to other dimensions, because they said themselves that they are contacting other entities on the other side. And they said, we don't know who we're contacting, but we're contacting these other entities. So they have admitted that they have contacted other entities using the smashing of these subatomic particles. And they say they found the God particle, right? Okay. So they have involved all of us by connecting the internet to 5G towers and the 5G towers to CERN, creating what NASA calls X points. All right. So this is why sometimes I see people say like, oh, wow, we shifted today. Like we jumped timelines. Your voice is changing. Like, let me drink some water. Hold up. You mean like my voice is changing in general? I don't know. Oh, it's called testosterone. um, I don't know. Oh, then goes like, oh yeah, I don't know. My voice has been doing a weird thing. I don't know. So yeah, it's probably IG. Okay, so right. So what's the next phase of that? The next phase of that is putting the internet in your body. So therefore, Neuralink is going to be connected to what? What are they after? Your pineal gland. What's the seat of your soul? Your pineal gland. But they need your permission. They can't jam a Neuralink in your head. So yeah, the next phase of the internet is already here. Nanotechnology. And so I believe that now this is another rabbit hole, but when you do your research on chemtrails and what's in chemtrails, you can see that they too are connected to nanotechnology. Okay, so the second thing I want to talk about is reflections, mirrors, and moon holograms. So have you ever thought about the story of the moon? They said it was just a rock that just got attached to the earth and like to our orbit, and it just has this orbit that it stays on. Okay, but it's spherical perfectly. Is when you look at a crescent moon, you're like, wait a minute, how is that possible? What is this play of light and shadow? holographic in nature. Luminary. Luminary. Um, so the luminaries are the ones that, okay, so let's talk about disc. They hide the truth in nature. They hide the truth in reality. Okay, so is it possible to okay, so think about disc like luminary disc. Okay. Is it possible to code a disc? Um, because listen, if everything is radio frequency, then everything is code, meaning thoughts are codes. Therefore, minerals in a way are I wish I took computer science because I would really have the word to fit right here. But minerals are what helps the code to stay on track for the program. So minerals are the relay system for the radio frequencies. Our bodies are made of genetic code. Exactly. And what is the genetic code? Minerals. Selenium, magnesium, manganese, calcium. What happens when a man ejaculates? He loses selenium, magnesium, calcium, and so he has to replenish himself with those minerals. Those are codes. And so when a man, okay. When a man releases, right, he's only releasing minerals, but a baby is born from that release code, because from what he releases comes the DNA code for the baby. So, yeah. CD disc, like they put that right in our face. DVD ROM, CV disc, you can code a disc. So luminaries therefore can contain codes. This is why, the Egyptians believed and the Mississippians believed that when you passed away, your body passed through a portal. Your soul is data, so of course it can pass through a Orion's belt. Of those are code, like just transferring codes. Like you can transfer a code and get a physical like carbon copy. Like you see it every day. You know what I mean? Like wire transfers, ATMs. Our life is ran on it. It's the foundation of our reality. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so how does that tie into hoodoo or voodoo? Oh, okay. We're not gonna, for respect of voodoo and hoodoo, because I had to take a whole like 6-week class on it. I'm not gonna get into that rabbit hole because I don't have the energy to give it respect today. But I'm gonna circle back to voodoo, if you want to get real technical, voodoo. I'll circle back to that because that's a good topic. Okay, but Odysseus. So in the same week, they released Odysseus, the robot on the moon. I think they said like a solar flare. What else happened? Odysseus, a solar flare. Something. The space balloon that's happening right now, but it was something else. Anyway, why would they call it Odysseus? Is anybody familiar with Homer, Iliad, Athena, Poseidon? It's a whole message. Why would they, bro? Did anybody see the video? Did anybody see the video of the moon landing? Bro. Solar flare had to be a joke, right? I don't believe in solar flares. The Titans. Thank you for saying that. Practically everything they do is centered around the Titans. Kronos, Saturn, the names of our planets, Nike, or the Titans and the Olympians. So, Odysseus, why would they name it Odysseus? And why would they name the other Apollo mission Artemis? Why did they name the spaceship Artemis? What's the connection to Artemis and Apollo and Coronis? And they were releasing Artemis during the coronavirus. Come on, man. It's a story. They don't do it to actually put things on the moon. They do it for the story. Because the story foreshadows events that are coming. So, releasing a spaceship or a spacecraft named Odysseus means to what? To watch the ocean. Why? Because Mercury just moved into what? Pisces. What else is in Pisces? Saturn, the Sun, Neptune. What's about to move into Pisces? Venus, Mars. So why would they release a spacecraft named Odysseus? Are some ships about to go down? So those were the three things I wanted to talk about today. So now we can talk about some random things. They want to recreate the stories we heard as children, so we have insight into their plans already. Exactly. Damn, y'all are so tapped in. Whoa. That's so true. That is so true. Saturnalia. Ocean shifts. Ooh, those two things are connected. Saturnalia and ocean shifts. Which ocean? The one above or below? Because we get effects from both shifts. If you was here in California during this last storm, they kept using the term atmospheric river. First time I've ever heard that term in my life. Letting you know there's a river above. I mean, we've known this, we've talked about this several times, but it's good to see that they're talking about the river above, because bringing in Saturnalia, if you bring in the cosmic breath stream, which I was talking about in my last live, I'll just briefly touch on it and get out. The cosmic breath stream, it's a reason why the sun stops moving on December the 21st. It has to do with the changing of the seasons, the changing of the cold and hot breaths. The southern hemisphere gets the cold breath and we get the hot breath. And then it switches. Okay, so you could say that the system above is likened to a respiratory system, and we feel the wind. Every image that you see of the wind, every ancient image you see of the wind is either those little cherubs blowing breaths like little babies with wings, blowing their breath and causing our, or it's like angels causing the wind, you know. And even in Homer's uh, uh, the, uh, um, the Odyssey, Odysseus is left wandering because they give him a bag of winds with containing all of the winds, the cardinal winds, except for the west wind. And I find that interesting because they, mention that you can put wind in a bag. And when you look at the god of the god of wind, I believe in Japan, he has a bag of wind on his back. And even when you look at the photos of like the Anunnaki, I wish people really anyway. The photos of like the Anunnaki, the men with the long beards and the wings, they're holding bags. My theory is those are the bags of wind, and those bags are to find your way back home. And they even have like a watch. That watch could have simply been like a compass device, or something far more advanced. But if you think about, somebody asked me a question the other day. We were having a conversation about astrology, and she said, "What's your theory on why they call Aquarius the water bearer?" And it's an air sign. And every time you see Aquarius, it's pouring out water. Right? So a lot of people get confused with Aquarius, thinking it's a water sign. But when you know the story of astrology and the journey of the sun, and you can even just decipher the symbols, like you being a Libra, it just means like the sun is going over the horizon. You being a Cancer just means like the sun is going at its lowest point as Imam Coily, the IC. So all of those signs, your zodiac signs, they mean something. It's a story. It's a hieroglyph. It's a glyph, hieroglyph. So but anyway, it's called the water bearer, and I'm saying this in the connection to the wind is because the wind carries the water, and so the reason why the Aquarius is holding the wind is because the definition of bearer is someone that bears. And then the definition from someone that bears that you can take is someone that bears like someone like something that bears something else, like so something that carries something. So like the wind is the element that's carrying the water, and so when you see the Aquarius pouring out the pail of water, it's really just the wind that's carrying the water. And you can see that in the Capricorn sign when the sun is at its highest point, and then at the bottom of the Capricorn sign it makes the fish. That means it's going down into the water, but it's being carried by the next sign, which is Aquarius, which is why Aquarius looks like the waters, like two water signs, but it's really just showing you the wind that carries the water, because without wind you would have no tidal waves. That's why you have the highest tides on the windiest days, right? So that's, in case anybody wanted to know what the Aquarius was, the water bearer. But yeah, we talk about astrology every day, all day, over on Patreon. But how long have I been on here? What time is it? 6:35. Wow. Every time I say I'm going to be on here for a little while, I end up staying for longer. I'm gonna throw something random here. Anime is a full of hidden messages. It really is. It really is. People keep telling me that I need to watch Attack on Titan, and one day I will. But it's hard for me to binge something that's already like far in seasons because I don't, we all got stuff to do. We all got missions to accomplish. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, so with I want to stick with the sun being a crystal, a quartz crystal. Now, I know this sounds like reaching and far-fetched, but I believe that every image that you see of like, the sun, they always show you on a computer. Like, of course they have to show you like to show you the solar flares, but of solar, listen, man, of you had whatever X class solar flares really coming from the sun that was underneath the firmament, we will all be cooked. What? What? I mean, yeah, if it was 93 million miles away, of course. But with the use of mirrors, magnetism, reflections, and magnification, you think the sun is farther than it is, but it's not. It's an optical illusion, which is why optic lenses were used in the construction of the Great Pyramids. They used crystals in the earliest days, because they were mirroring what they saw above. So ask yourself, can a crystal transmit light? Look at a light bulb. I mean, I know it's not crystal, but the concept. Okay. Now, imagine a quartz crystal and how luminous it is, transmitting light that was transmitted from Heaven's Gate. I mean, you can't even look at the sun. It looks so like you can hold obsidian and look at the sun, but it's quite you saying nature made that, and then we're able to recreate it with nuclear fusion? Okay, so but you see, with nuclear fusion, the sun is blue, but the natural sun that we are used to is yellow. It's a different frequency, it's a different transmission. Okay, so oh shit, is the sun a light or portal? It's a light. It's a light. But here's something that's interesting. When you look into the so do we, as above so below, right? As above so below. So your pineal gland has rhombohedron crystals. Okay. Your pineal gland is called your optic thalamus. Optic thalamus. Okay. Lens, optic lens. Okay. And it uses crystals. and it's called the light of the world. Your Christ consciousness. Okay, Christ consciousness is connected to your pineal gland. Remember that. Now, I took a photo today of a church that I passed by, and on the front of the church, they have a huge sun, and it's not the only one. If you start to look at the art on most of these windows, when you pass by churches, they all have suns. Okay. Now, the sun is also connected to the light of the world, Christ consciousness. Okay. Now, your pineal gland, if it uses crystals, is connected to light, and is connected to a lens, and you stream your consciousness as above, so below. The sun is connected to light, a lens, crystals, as above, so below, and it streams the light. And the light that we stream is called consciousness, because consciousness is light and light is data. So what we're seeing from the sun is what we call light, but it's data. So sun rays are data streams. So when we get that feeling from the sun, it's powering our melanin, and melanin is the life force for everything that's living. So therefore, when something receives data streams, aka sun rays, then a seed that you put into the soil that's coded to be a pine tree grows into a pine tree. A seed that's put into the soil that's coded to be okra goes into be okra, because it's receiving the data streams that's telling the soil what to grow from the seed. And then the soil is intelligent because it's also receiving the streams from the black sun below, which is powering our electromagnetic field. Right? So so it's the same way when somebody say, like, plant the seed in somebody's mind, and the seed can grow to be like a reality. Like, if I take if I take like an avocado, like, pit or whatever, and I put it into the ground, it's that size. But the soil knows to discern that seed from that of an apple, and it grows from this into, like, because of the code, and it's the same way that you put power lines into soil, and then the soil gives you back power, and I'm able to charge my iPhone, because the power is data. So therefore, matter is data, right? Because matter, when you look at the very like core of matter, is nothing but vibrating strings. It's quarks. So you have atoms, you have quarks, and then you have vibrations, like strings of vibrations. And then that's when you get on a quantum level and to the quantum field. But that's what the wall is. That's what the phone is. The matter, the solid material, is light. So it's data. So how do you know that? It's because when you put on like a virtual headset and you look at an apple, it's called what? Metadata. So an object is data. So, you feel me? Do you hear that? That sound vibration is coming from the molecular structure of the cup, and it's feeding back is that vibration, that sound. So that sound is the vibration of the cup. The information of the cup that's coded to be this cup is giving back the vibration of that sound, which is letting you know the frequency. the waves that's being propagated from this cup. And the waves have to be at a steady vibration to hold this cup as a cup. And if I were to match the speed and intensity of the vibrations of this cup, I could put my finger through this cup. So it's data. And if I can read the data, I can put my finger through the cup. So I can match the vibration. So when you match a vibration of somebody, when you say like, oh man, that's my tribe, because your vibe attracts your tribe, what you're really in just like, you're reading their code. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so y'all get it. Y'all get it. So, yeah, it's the same thing with like with water, bro. You can't escape water. It's everywhere, you know, and depending on which, okay, let me limit myself for what I can say on water because I don't got that much battery. um, shit. It's my favorite subject though. Where's that book? Whoops. The Hidden Messages of Water. You see that crystal? That crystal is the result of a Buddhist healing prayer. This crystal is the result of showing water crop circle. Yes, I said showing the water crop circle, not saying anything, just showing the water a photo. Think about that. Okay. This is a crystal from showing water a photo of a dolphin. Let's look at the different crystals from the different information it's receiving from the waves that's coming from your voice. Okay? So what I'm saying is that the waves that's coming from your voice you ever look at a light bulb and you see like this light bulb has like 120 volts? Okay. Your throat chakra has its own frequency, just like your organ has its own resonant frequency. Your gut has its own resonant frequency, which is really important. Get your frequency up, fool. Because your voice is your frequency. Right? So when sound hears your voice, say like, did you know that the two most powerful words in the English language are love and gratitude? What was that? Instagram be tripping. So, oh yeah, get that book. Love and Gratitude. And so what I'm saying is that, actually, this is going to go, whoops. Let me read you a sentence from this book that's going to go along with what I just said. And this one is called Paradise Found. I think I read y'all this before, but I'm going to read it again, damn it. It's only going to take like 3 seconds. Okay. In our interpretation, the original river is from the sky. The division takes place on the heights at the pole. You already know which pole, man. Don't play. And the four resulting rivers are the chief streams of the circumpolar continent as they descend in different directions to the surrounding sea. The North Pole, the surrounding the four ways, the waterways. Okay. This heavenly fountain has 1,000 springs and 1,000 canals, each of them 40 days journeys long. Y'all, 40 days and 40 nights. The Christ, 40 days and 40 nights. The sun, it takes a journey. Okay. But water takes the same journey. Everything of a liquid nature, therefore, in the whole world is conceived of as proceeding from one source high in the north polar sky. Every plant sap and blood and milk and all the 17 kinds of liquid enumerated in the yast are parts of the one cosmic current. All these, through growth, or the body which is formed, mingle again with the rivers, for the body which is formed and growth are both one. Because all the liquids from our body goes where? Back into the one source, which goes back into the one cosmic source in the north polar sky. So here's what I'm saying. Now this shit, listen. All water goes through our body. We drink it, it collects data, and then it goes back to the one source. Okay. Water conducts what? Electricity. Okay. So the water that is conducting the electricity that's powering the electromagnetic grid that's supplying our thoughts is collecting the data to build an algorithm that's creating the reality. So therefore, when you think about something and your body is mostly composed of water, you see the reality because it's a feedback system, because the water is collecting the information about you. Like TikTok collects information about you, the water is collecting information about you to feed back a personal reality coming from the wave propagation in your fucking pineal gland. That can, the radio frequencies that are being sent from here that can be carried by water. This is why you have radio frequencies all around you that's being carried by what? Water, because air is what? Water. So anyway, water is God. Yo, for real. Alright, so my stomach is rumbling and it's time for me to eat. But we started off with doing the 12 rising signs, and then we went through, a good bit of different topics. Let's meet up again like this. I like this comfy Friday night vibe. It's Venus vibe. We humans are composed of water. Yo, that's so true. Don't get me started on the moon. So the next time I want to talk about how the constellations, like those constellations that we call your sign, your zodiac sign, what does that mean when those constellations meet up with the luminary like Jupiter or the see they wow. But like what does it mean when you put like the luminary of Jupiter in the constellation of Cancer, and what kind of frequency comes from the intermingling of that connection? And then how does that affect us? And that gives you astrology, you know, which gives you your reality set in stone. Um, I just got here. Will this live be on your page? Yeah, it's gonna be on YouTube. If not tonight, then tomorrow. You make him. Oh, thank you for saying that. The stratospheric aerosol injections. Ooh. Okay. So, I hope y'all be safe. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. And it's gonna be it. Listen, sit back, get your snacks, cause it's gonna be a interesting weekend. We got a funny balloon or something up in the sky. Let's just sit back and see what they doing with this show. Let's see what they doing with this show, with this balloon up in our sky. Didn't we just have a balloon in our sky like a year ago? I'm like, damn, who's writing the script? Come up with something different. What is your YouTube channel ID? Oh, it's 5D Mystery School. 5D Mystery School. The Earth is round. I was in a trance medium today, so. Oh, damn! I wish you would have got here earlier. We could have had a good conversation about the Earth being round. Because it's not, but it is, but it's not, but it's both, but it's nothing at the same time. The Earth is electric signals. If you want to get down to the nitty gritty, the Earth is electric signals, because how can you be in a coma and still experience Earth? Answer that question for me. How can one be in a coma and still experience Earth? Or let me say it, Earth. So is the Earth electric signals? Or is it like a physical thing? Because when I go to sleep, I can still experience Earth, even though I'm not conscious. Think about that. Because the water is flowing in my veins, or the water is flowing in my body, creating the operating system. And last thing I'll leave you with is, do y'all know that there's a computer that can run on water? Boy, when they drop, anyway. Yeah, so let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. What we're witnessing right now is them excited because they're getting to show us what happens when you mix artificial intelligence with quantum computing. True, water is an amazing electric conductor. Yeah, because your body is mostly water and your cells create electric signals. Your cells literally create charges all day. Channeling you with quantum crystals in your brain. And soon too, I want to talk about how you can, like, how people can get more connected to like their pineal gland, and how you can decalcify your pineal gland, and how you can have more intense dreams and better downloads, that type of thing, because it's time for more people to get connected, you know, because everybody's capable of it. We just got to learn how to do it. I love y'all. Have a blessed Friday. Enjoy the weekend. We're about to be in the Virgo moon, so get grounded. Get grounded. I'll see y'all next time. Ashe. Peace.